I have just been informed that Matthew McLaughlin, our 23rd Prime Minister, has been pronounced dead on arrival. The tragic accident that claimed his life is presumed to have also taken the life of Madeleine Mansell, a prominent Ottawa lawyer.
Our forensic investigation team is on site. This unit will be headed by Sergeant Leah Collins.
Sergeant Collins? Don Pritchard, CSIS.
Who is Pritchard? What did he call himself? Guy's name is Holt. Lieutenant Daniel Holt.
He is survived by Julia, his wife of 42 years. He is also survived by his son, Thomas.
McLaughlin struck a deep emotional chord. That's just the kind of political goal.
That's what we need. This country needs a home run.
Why the hell didn't you see this coming down the track?
He wasn't scheduled to speak, sir. It was a last-minute thing.
So in the interests of healing our country's wounds, I will request the national executive of our party to call the leadership convention at the earliest possible convenience.
Tom McLaughlin, 1,100.
Congratulations, gentlemen. The boat is in the water. Hear, hear.
Cheers.
The Ungava Compact. It's good for the First Nations. It's good for the country.
It assigns a joint federal-provincial contract for the construction of a hydro corridor to a company called Cantron Steel.
These specifications make no sense. International Water and Power has secured future contracts on water supply to 23 municipalities in the U.S. Sunbelt.
Water is a zero-sum game. If you're running out, you basically only have 4 choices. Find another source, reduce consumption, lower the population, or steal it.
They will need water, and when they need it, they will take it. And that puts us in the shitter. Unless we can do a deal now. I'm counting on you, Marc.
McLaughlin has framed the question. Your neighbor is thirsty. Would you deny him a glass of water?
If a country, any country opens that door, Marc, that door cannot be closed. That country will be lost.
You realize what we're talking about, don't you? Only a couple $100 billion in the future of a country.
This is now a murder investigation.
If this leaves my office, the Law Society will kill me.
Where's your fax machine? Detective Duguay, Don Pritchard, CSIS.
Moments ago, I was informed by the Solicitor General of Canada that there is reason to suspect my father may have been assassinated.
My father?
You think you're playing in a sandbox?
My father? Measures had to be taken.
For the greater good.
Your government will meet this threat with all the resources at its disposal.
What are you going to do?
Watch me.
It is with a heavy heart that we resort to these war measures, but we do so with cause. Your security services are aggressively pursuing those responsible for this crime. As of tonight, 3 men are being sought by both Canadian and international authorities. Their names are Bakir Sattar, Mohammed Darwesh, and Shakir
We
Mahmoud.
say airborne, he says Afghan. The man's an alchemist.
We just gave him probable cause for police state. That will explode.
Not if I get to them first. Set up a meeting with Côté.
And linked to a terrorist organization that has claimed responsibility for the assassination in reprisal for our country's commitment to the reconstruction of Afghanistan. This is a challenge your government will resolutely confront. Je convoquerai le cabinet pour une session d'urgence pour mettre en place l'article 3 de mesures d'urgence.
It's war measures, for Christ's sake. You'll have dictatorial powers. So will we. So will we.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please note that Governor and Council is invoking Article 3 of the Emergencies Act.
With respect, Prime Minister, I must object to this motion.
I welcome this vigorous and healthy debate, and I eagerly await your resignation.
Consider it tendered.
Good. Welcome to the back benches. Anyone else? Motion carries. Thank you kindly for your attendance. For a period of 120 days, your security forces will be accorded the powers they require to get the job done.
When did the guy last check in? Yeah, I called his place. He wasn't there. All right. Will you call me as soon as you hear from him? Thanks.
We will find the men that perpetrated this crime. We will bring them before our courts of justice, and we will punish them to the fullest extent of our laws.
Where'd this information come from?
We can't reveal that, sir. You're not cleared for Ember level.
I need to see the PM.
That's not going to happen right now.
I'll go public with Holt. I'll tell them all about the dead, undead commando.
Saying what, sir? A former Army officer, read Canadian military, was engaged in a conspiracy to kill the sitting Prime Minister. It's not a good optic when we're facing a clear and present danger.
Are we using U.S. terms now?
With respect, sir, if you're at war, is terminology important?
We'd like to clear the building, sir.
Your government will take all the necessary steps to protect our vital installations and our centers of national importance. Accordingly, we have invited international experts in counterterrorism to assist us in this effort.
One of the guys he ID'd in the hood is an Afghan national. And yeah, he was on that river, but he was on it a year and a half before the PM drowned. He was vetted, cleared, and overlooked. I mean, the guy was a dentist. So this shit tonight, I mean, you know, I'd tell you virtually anything if I thought it would get you to take your pants off, right? Yeah. This didn't come from the agency.
Beyond this, I have instructed the Department of National Defense to engage itself in its prime directive, namely, the defense of the nation. These measures are not easy for any government to take, and our nation faces many challenges in the days and weeks ahead. As we face these challenges, I would urge you to put your faith, as I do, in the indomitable spirit of yourselves, the Canadian people.
I'll sit down with Cote and try to calm down Quebec, but that's a maybe at best. I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't want to be tonight.
What's that?
A Muslim.
As citizens of this democracy, we are the rulers and the ruled. We are the lawgivers, the law-abiding. We are a people that deeply believes in peace, in good government, in the rule of law. And we hold sacred the free traffic of people and ideas. But when those ideas are threatened, we respond without hatred, without bias, without anger, and most importantly, without wavering. Merci. Thank you. Good night.
Tensions run high in the nation's capital on this, the first day after the Prime Minister invoked the Emergencies Act. Units of the Royal Canadian Regiment have been stationed in and around key installations.
The Defense Department announced that the 1st Canadian Mechanized Brigade will be bringing
that as the full effect of the act starts to take effect. All right, no, hang on, I can't say effect twice. Let's do it again. It has been reported that... We have to wait till it passes.
The Premier expressed his solidarity with the Prime Minister on behalf of all British Columbians.
We share in his grief at this most difficult of times, and we offer our full support.
But this enthusiasm was not shared across the country.
Took to the streets by the thousands, clashing with police. Authorities have acknowledged over 200 arrests. Meanwhile, in Ontario...
I want to spend this like it's their own personal 9/11. So be it. We keep our eyes on them all.
Sir, I trade in facts. And the only fact we know is Mansell was murdered and McLaughlin lied about knowing her.
No, that's not all we know, Sergeant. Not by half. Pull out your badge.
These wood panels were hand-carved in Quebec.
Please, clear the room, please. Clear the room. Thank you.
This is what we know. And we don't just connect the dots. We lock it down with a chain. We have a prime minister who was assassinated. We have a pipeline company called Cantron Steel. We have a woman called Mansell. We have the current prime minister. Mansell is connected to the current prime minister by way of the work on Three Gorges in China. She's also connected to the dead prime minister by sex and intrigue. The current prime minister is connected to Cantron Steel through an order in council that gave Cantron a contract to export water. Mansell wrote the regulations for this order in council, connecting her to Cantron Steel.
Right. And in the center of all this is a dead, undead commando named Holt.
A police officer was killed.
And I was well paid.
The Burnham Woods people were stupid and reckless. From now on, you answer to us.
Okay, so now I work for you. But before we talk terms, I should tell you that coat wears you well.
First time I ever talked to a real live pig. You don't talk till we tell you to talk. You don't move till we tell you to move. You don't think till we tell you to think.
So what do you want me to do?
We think there might be something out there, something that might be incriminating. We want you to find it.
Okay.
All I'm saying is you've gone way beyond our plan. I don't know how to put this, but you're blowing our minds, son.
Takes a lot of shit to make roses.
Your father, the late Prime Minister, won my heart, and I underline the word heart, with a poem. When, as in silks, my Julia goes, then methinks how sweetly flows the liquefaction of her. Something.
Doug, can you find my mother a physician, one who prescribes freely?
Yes, sir. Sir, we may have a problem. Lavigne has contacted Cote.
No one in this country has ever listened to us.
Marc, this is war measures. This is Quebec. Tell your boss I roll over for nobody.
You meet force with force, you'll play into his hand. He wants you to pull out your plans for unilateral separation.
I'm not a separatist. I have no such plans.
Come on, every smart premier from Quebec has a plan. It's how you leverage money. You're smart, you're a premier. You're from Quebec.
I signed off on the water deal. Why the provocation?
I don't know. And that's why I'm asking you to give me time and sit on your hands.
And I should trust you because...
Because I'm the Solicitor General of Canada. And I have the power to release detainees.
I'll give you a list of names.
Pockets of opposition to the emergency measures have sprung up in Victoria and Edmonton.
The lefties, the point is, the big moves are marching.
2 or 3 days, give or take.
Cause of death?
Well, that hole in his head might be a clue.
Spare me, would you?
You knew him well?
No, not really. Paul Frommer, Cantron Steel.
We've got an internal from Shields Adderley Research. It's in sync with the independent polls. The support base is solid.
But they're marching in the streets.
Well, let them march. 1,000 here, 1,000 there. Might look good on TV, but meaningless in the long run.
And what about Lavigne? Everything in your site profile had him bowing out. Think maybe it's time to revise the metric?
Well, we could force him out.
Or keep him where we can see him.
Either way, we still have a timeline crunch. The mandate's running out.
Not only that, we're now in a counter-move game. All right, we're gonna have to force the issue.
Shall we up the ante?
When I say.
Oh, there he is. Mr. Prime Minister,
I realize you have many questions. Rest assured, so do I. What I can tell you is this. If the investigation should prove that Officer Michel Duguay's death is linked to terrorism, it will only serve to underscore the dangers we live with. These are perilous times. Michel Duguay n'est pas la première victime de cette guerre. Malheureusement, il ne sera pas la dernière. And let me be unequivocal. This nation will never lose its resolve. This nation will never surrender its democracy to the tyranny of a few. Jamais. Merci.
Listen, I got a fax with a bank transit number on it, 444-35105-222-6987.
Got it.
So, how are things in the Grand Cayman?
Well, you know, life's a beach in the DEA. Hey, this is your lucky day. The bank you've been looking at is part of a sting. We think they've been laundering money for the Panamanian cartels and have had this bank under video surveillance 24/7.
Can you get me tapes?
Under whose authorization?
Mine. Look, I know I'm going way outside the system here, and I should get official requisition and fill out all those forms, but I got an officer down on this one.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, tell you what. I'll transmit through an encoded satellite uplink, but you never got them from me, right?
I don't even know who you are. Money that went into Legion Hall, it all came from secret accounts that we've traced to a bank in Grand Cayman, which is a tax haven.
Switzerland with a beach.
Right. Okay, so we got lucky. The DEA had it under surveillance. They're going to send me the tapes.
Sergeant Collins, PM would like a word.
It seems that every time I see you, I'm apologizing.
Well, cops tend to have that effect on people.
The last time we spoke, I told you I'd never met Madeline Mansell. I was lying. You knew I was lying. And it may be a feeble excuse, but I just didn't want it to be public knowledge. If that had been coupled to my father's dalliance,
Then the Fifth Estate would have been all over it.
and I'm not very good with public humiliations.
Lie to me once, you're human. Lie to me twice, you're a suspect, sir.
Sir, we're ready.
Mr. Ambassador?
Mr. Prime Minister, I'm here to tell you the President's behind you 100%. And that includes the full weight of the American military should you require it.
Well, I appreciate that, Conrad. Although I would be entirely unsure of the mechanism.
If I might interrupt, Prime Minister, there's a clause in the Missile Defense Treaty which allows for us to request the assistance of the U.S. military should installations key to the treaty become compromised.
Well, let us all pray it never comes to that. In the meantime, we have jumped through hoops for you on water, Conrad. It is time that you jump through hoops for us. So I would like to revisit currency merger. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar, exchanged at face value, a one-time windfall.
I like you, Tom. More important, the President likes you.
Is that a threat?
The
United States will always stand by its friends. And so we stand shoulder to shoulder with our great friend to the north. And we say to Canada, the United States has your back.
Good. Next, we need a pretext for intervention, which means that we have to get this place just a little more destabilized. So let's bring the First Nations onto the field of play, set up a meeting with Chief Blackfire, leak it to Côté in Quebec. Let's see if we can't get these two big dogs at each other's throats.
We have a treaty with the Crown, Prime Minister.
Yes, you do. And it's one that left you scratching it out in the bush.
Are you trying to insult me?
No, I'm trying to be realistic.
I came to the table and made the deal on water. But I have to warn you. If the principles of First Nation sovereignty are not upheld...
Then you should tear up the agreement. But your problem's not with me, Katie. Your problem is with Quebec.
Not just Quebec. There are elements among my people that are not easily controlled.
And I can help you with that, but I will need a pretext. Invite the Crown will be there.
Are you counseling me to agitate?
Katie, why does Quebec have power? Because she has power.
You're playing a very dangerous game, Prime Minister.
These are dangerous times.
And dangerous times demand dangerous measures. As the Grand Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, I can no longer sit quietly by while the safety and security of those I'm sworn to serve are imperiled. The government of Quebec has proven itself to be an unreliable partner.
Unreliable? Where the hell is this coming from? Who the hell's been... Put me through to McLaughlin.
We entered into these agreements in good faith, and despite our good faith, we've been undermined. It's with a heavy heart,
Mills.
therefore, that I announce our intention
Côté.
to revisit these agreements.
Let him swipe. I'm busy, I'm tired, I'm out of the country. Take your pick.
I'm sorry, sir. He's unavailable at the
For our
moment.
dignity to be compromised. Moiki tomwe kat.
Opposition to the war measures escalates, and the public outcry continues to
Neighborhood
mount.
remains untouched by its effects. Amnesty International estimates that the security forces have detained over 3,000
And the markets felt this thing today. TSX dropping over 400 points.
Okay, encryption codes are in.
Encryption codes are in.
And we're transmitting. Good hunting.
Thanks. Wait, so? What am I looking at?
This machine is de-encrypting your send. This terminal has the regimental log JTF2.
You have SA clearance?
I'm a freak. Here we go. Incident report, June 12, 2003, Torbor Caves. Firefight with Taliban. 34 dead, 17 POWs, 3 escaped. Holy shit. Check out the names. Bakir Sudar, Mohammed Darwish, Shakir Mahood.
I thought you said Mahood was a dentist.
He was a dentist. He fell off the radar in Montreal 6 weeks ago. Oh, we're alive.
Now, you told me to sit on my hands. What kind of game are we playing?
It's no game. McLaughlin is playing for keeps. If you move, he'll crush you.
I'm in an impossible situation.
Welcome to Confederation. Where does a dead, undead commando like Holt get $50,000?
Well, obviously he had a paymaster, but he was paid in cash, so we're kind of at a dead end, sir.
What about the flight to Grand Cayman? Who paid for that? Might not have been cash.
Okay, everybody, listen up. We are looking at anything and everything that flew into and out of Grand Cayman within 300 nautical miles. Montego Bay, Kingston, Havana. The names we're looking for are Pritchard, Don or Donald, or Holt, Daniel, or any variations thereof. Okay, everybody got it? Yep. Let's get to work.
Lavigne got to Cote.
Any damage?
Not sure, but we're concerned about our support base.
If the people aren't shown cause, they'll abandon us.
And they're clamoring for evidence out there. All the papers are hopping.
Are you saying we have to open the box?
It's time.
All right. Open the box.
Shakir Mahood. I'm gonna make you a star.
I should stress that authorities have yet to authenticate the tape, and we play it with that proviso.
We have carried out this assassination of Matthew McLaughlin in the name of Allah. Praise be his name. Allah is great.
You see something that heinous and still, Michael, and I know this is a polite discussion, but still, there are those who would question our government's resolve to bring it...
I'm a Canadian, but everywhere I go, people look at me as if I was a terrorist. I am not a terrorist.
Hey, now my prime minister was killed, and if that there means you're gonna be uncomfortable for a little bit, well, hey, too goddamn bad.
Clearly, emotions run high on this subject.
They do indeed, Michael. On the one hand, thousands of people detained without charge or recourse to counsel. On the other hand, the security of a nation. Where are we headed?
Where are we headed? Jeffrey Kingman?
Hard to tell, Michael. In the name of security, we're edging toward a fully integrated North America. But what does that mean? Currency merger? CIA, FBI, INS agents at our ports of entry? Who knows?
Where's that accent from, anyway?
Britain. He emigrated in '54.
Brit. What have you got for me?
For a period of about 6 weeks, Shakir Mahood lived in a building owned by this Quebec MNA.
Marc Girard is a good man. This'll destroy him.
Well, look a gift horse in the mouth, sir.
When I say.
Sergeant, I got a guy here. He's in the right time frame. Flew in from Halifax to Grand Cayman, then went out to Pearson the same day.
Let me see. Dale Lothan? No, that's not him. Keep looking. Wait a minute. What was that name again?
Lothan. Dale Lothan.
Dale. Dalt. Daniel. Jesus, it's an anagram. You scramble Dale Lothan, you get Daniel Holt. That's our guy. Who paid for this ticket?
B&L Services.
B&L Services had one big client in the last 5 years, Cantron Steel, headquartered in Laval, Quebec. Same company that you wrote an order of counsel for, authorizing a contract for a hydro corridor. Madeleine Manzel worked for Cantron Steel, which in turn employed Holt to launder money that was paid to Jackman.
You're very good at what you do, Sergeant. And I don't know how to say this because there's certain things I can't say, things that you don't have clearance for, but right now, you are in very deep water. And this is not a swimming pool. This is the ocean. If you step off the ledge, the deep end has no bottom. With everything I have, with all of the powers at my disposal, not even I could save you.
I'm not looking for salvation. I'm looking for answers, sir.
I'm trying to offer you a lifeline, Leah. Don't push this case. Get off it.
We got nothing.
Where's Fromer, Mr. Wilson?
I'd love to help you out, but I haven't got a clue.
Run him in.
On what charge?
It's a state of emergency. I don't need a charge. Stick him in a dark hole.
What's the play on Cantron and the press?
Not wide, but the wires have picked it up. It could grow.
So it goes big, so what? The optics explain the story we're trying to tell. In this great struggle, your government will not waver, will not play favorites. That's the spin we're on.
Maybe, Nate, but think. Cantron Steel, a company with an inside line to the Canadian government, contracted for a pipeline to ship water, stands to make money hand over fist. This was never part of our story.
And Lavigne will jump all over it. And he's proving to be a lot tougher than we gave him credit for.
Should we clip his wings, sir?
On what grounds? Without cause, we took a name.
Exactly, no. Lavigne has to make a misstep. When he stumbles, we'll shut him down. Your president made a statement the other night to the effect that there is very little difference between the peoples of Canada and the peoples of the United States. Put simply, your president is wrong.
Now, Mr. Prime Minister, you and I both know my president's never wrong.
There's a first time for everything, Connie. This is it. And while it is true that in matters of trade and commerce, we have been moving towards increased interdependence, in all other matters, we are moving further apart.
How so?
Pick any social indicator. Tolerance of others, religion and authority, acceptance of violence. We are traveling in different directions.
Are you trying to tell me you're becoming more Canadian?
Precisely. And it is that quality that I've sworn to protect. So, when we look at the set-aside, the water royalties,
Our burn rate was killing us. We were hemorrhaging money.
So Fromer took on partners?
Yeah, but they weren't exactly white knights. They were hostile.
Give me the names.
I could never get past the corporate cutouts. You get the picture.
Mr. Wilson, you're staring down the barrel of 3 indictable offenses: murder, treason, and conspiracy. Do you get the picture?
Okay. There were 2 companies, both of them offshore. The first was called Beltec International, a Liechtenstein hedge fund headquartered in Turks and Caicos.
And the second one?
Arrow Trust, based in Grand Cayman.
Oh my God. Arrow Trust is a principal contributor to all my campaigns and the main supporter of my leadership run. Arrow Trust is Randall Spear.
Wait, he backed you as leader, and yet he's involved in the water scheme?
It's called the butterfly spread. You play both sides and profit regardless of the outcome.
So what do? He's only the most powerful man in the country.
Right now, I'm the most powerful man in the country. I've got the muscle of a police state.
And Bay Street was rocked today as Chairman and CEO Randall Spear was detained without charge on matters related to national security.
The conglomerate declined to comment on the matter, saying that the issue...
While Prime Minister McLaughlin met with a group of Western farmers who have been hard hit by the ongoing drought, he proposed...
Lavigne just stumbled, sir.
Good. Shut him down.
This photograph was taken at a bank in Grand Cayman. The individual in this photograph received monies from Cantron Steel. Monies which were then paid to the man who assassinated our Prime Minister.
Ah.
As one of the directors of Cantron Steel, you're tied to the conspiracy, sir.
Sweetheart. And you are sweet. I held shares in Enron, and I am clone. Does that make me guilty of investor fraud? Not in any jurisdiction on the planet. I can no more account for Cantron's problems than I can for your apparent incompetence.
Marc, I assume you can see me. You have thoroughly overreached yourself on this one, my friend. I am a simple businessman. You, on the other hand, are a public official who will soon be held up to the highest standard of conduct.
It's the Privy Council's office, sir. They want a meeting.
These campaign contributions point to a violation in the Canada Elections Act, sections 350 and 351.
This is a setup. You know it's a setup.
Well, I can't speak to that. All I can do is forward this information to Elections Canada. Unless, of course, you do the honorable thing.
C'est avec une grande tristesse que j'accepte la démission de Marc Lavigne. He's an exceptional parliamentarian, and his loss is one my government will mourn. Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Michael. The PM announcing the resignation of Marc Lavigne, but declining to comment further, saying...
How could you do this? Lavigne is a decent man.
And this makes me look like a suspect. I realize that, but as I told you before, there are certain things that you cannot know about.
I know I'm not going to let this go.
You don't have a choice, Leah. For the good of the country, this investigation no longer exists.
Neither does this.
That's regrettable.
Perhaps I could help with your memoirs or your correspondence.
Or you could have a life away from all of this.
Is there anything other than this?
We'll find out, won't we?
Maybe we could go to the country.
Or not.
Well, your October calls are on the money. I'll jump ship, baby. Yeah, and don't wait for the New York market though. I'll dump everything into Tokyo Exchange, ASAP.
Two things, Sergeant. First, I'm off that junk, completely clean and sober. Two, what you asked me to do, it's a problem ethically. Why? Because it's illegal. Okay. That company you're asking me about, Beltec International. They are indeed the money behind that pipeline company, Cantron, but that's just a sidebar, right? Beltec's a heavy hitter, mostly hedge funds. And to get the names, the guys behind it wasn't easy. Believe me, I mean, I climbed the Chinese wall. So you didn't get this from me, okay? Right?
Marc?
You scare me to death. Come in. Didn't mean to, sorry. Where is he? In there in the study, thinking. I can't reach him. Maybe you can. Sir? Sir? Wake up. Hey. Come on, sir. Hey. Come on. You wake up! One punch and you cave in? Come on! I was in Kosovo. They said the hostilities were over, and they weren't. I spent 16 days on a cellar floor. When they rescued me, they gave me a medal. This is the only badge I wear. I didn't give up then, and I am not giving up now. Paul Fromer, CEO of Cantron Steel, the PM, and this is it. Beltec International. There are two major beneficiaries, Gerhard Oma, an industrialist from Stuttgart, and Katsuo Itsume, a tech giant from Japan. And both of these guys have major holdings in the worldwide water supply.
So, we have these two, and we have Randall Spear and Tom McLaughlin. How are they connected?
I think I saw these three before. They were all at the state funeral. No, it was before that, outside, when they arrived at the church. There.
Again, please. Stop. Again. Again. Got it. Play, please. Our earlier offer still stands.
This was all planned years ago. All of it.
I've been scoped. She's good. Girl is good. Oh, there's trouble right here in Fat City.
I can't see it. I just can't see the end game.
Okay, then let's back up. We have three men, all successful, all members of the Burnham Woods Institute, all influential.
Wait. Burnham Woods? You didn't tell me about Burnham Woods.
I didn't think it was important, sir. I went to their website. It's just a rich man's think tank.
No, it's not just a think tank. Let me try and put this in perspective for you. There's something like 30 permanent members of the Burnham Woods Institute. Of that number, at least 25 are directors or have served as directors of the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, the World Trade Organization, the GATT Tribunal. These guys run the world.
You know, you don't know. What you think you want to know, you really don't want to know.
state the unease in the European contingent. Billions of dollars are at stake.
And our Asian members are equally concerned.
Your colleagues' concerns are of little interest to me. I would remind all of you that I am not a member of Burnham Woods, and my reasons for engagement are mine and mine alone.
Tom, Jesus, we just need a little reassurance here. I mean, with Lavigne out of the picture, how can you guarantee Quebec's going to toe the line?
Oh, for God's sakes, Randall, that is the last thing you want. You can't expect the people of an afternoon to arrive at conclusions that have taken a lifetime to develop. To get them there, you need chaos, you need anxiety, you need disorder. You want them to question the motives of their partners and the loyalty of their friends. And you want them desperate. You want them so desperate they will reach out and cling to the security that only we can provide. How do you do this? You hit them where it hurts.
In a move that has created shock waves of alarm throughout Quebec, if not the nation, Marc Girard, Quebec's Minister of Education, was arrested in the halls of the Quebec National Assembly.
As you know, under the Emergencies Act, no formal charges are required. What I can tell you is that Monsieur Girard was the landlord at 23 Rue Saint-Germain, the last known address of Shakir Mahoud, one of the individuals wanted in connection with the assassination of Prime Minister Matthew McLaughlin.
Understandably, Premier Cote will be beside himself with rage. Still, he will be cautious.
Because he doesn't want to jeopardize his share in the water royalties.
Exactly. So his first move will be to call my office.
You invade my house. You seize a sitting member of my cabinet.
It wasn't your house, Marcel. It was your house of legislation.
His wife is crying in my empty room, for God's sake.
Give her some tea. He will say he has no option but to stand up to this provocation, and I will agree, saying he should do what he needs to do. The louder he shouts, the higher his overnights. He will call a press conference.
To insinuate that Quebec is a hotbed of terrorism is a rape of our God-given rights. And if the federal government does not immediately back down, there will be serious consequences. Ça se finira pas comme ça, madame.
What do you mean by serious consequence?
We all know what I mean when I say consequences. It means that's it. Goodbye. Thanks for the memories.
His tone will be threatening, if not slightly gallically hysterical.
That's good. That'll force the Cree to respond in kind.
They're already nervous. This should push them over the edge. Chief Blackfire will call her own press conference, at which she will issue a statement of grave concern.
I urge all parties to step back from the brink. There's too much emotion right now for rational thought. I implore everyone to turn down the heat and talk. We must not let the situation spin out of control.
But by then, the situation will already be spinning out of control. Cree youth will agitate, and she will be powerless to rein them in.
The standoff is now into its third day, with neither side showing signs of compromise. Michael?
A storm of protest has erupted across the country as people have taken to the streets in reaction to what they see as the government's draconian measures. In Edmonton, protesters clashed with riot police, prompting the Premier to call on the army.
And as Prime Minister, I will respond to those calls. I will convene a meeting of the defense staff at which I will demand their guarantee that key installations, airports, railroad terminals, power plants, etc., be garrisoned.
With respect, sir, we don't have the operational capacity. Given our commitments in Kosovo and Kabul, Cyprus, we're at the breaking point.
What about recalling the PPCLI?
3 months, minimum.
It's not good enough, General.
We don't have the manpower, Prime Minister.
And with that, the table is set. And I will invite outside assistance. So, I've done my job. It's time that you do yours.
Yeah, thanks.
Another one. Who knew we had so many friends?
Frommer's in the wind and I can't find him. I've got no tools. I'm not on the inside.
Yeah, neither am I. I've been bumped out of operations. The whole building's crawling with these guys I've never seen before. There's even a guy in a coffee area.
Deaver, I'll sleep with you.
I'm in.
Collins,
My source wants to meet.
when?
Midnight.
What's the location?
What did he say?
Now I really need your help.
Hello, are you there?
Keep walking, sir. Don't look. Don't turn around. But I'm right behind you on the bridge. Again, don't look, but Deaver is just to your left up on the hill.
Yeah, I'm here. But I gotta tell you, I'm still uncomfortable. You comfortable, sir?
Mr. Deaver, please. I'm perfectly at ease.
We're clear. We're clear. You're okay, sir.
I may be okay, but I'm now officially uncomfortable.
You should be.
Deaver, do you mind?
I'm sorry, but the site sucks. Pick any one of 24 spots, give me a long gun, and our man is a dead man.
Deaver, shut up! What he's trying to say, sir, is usually when we do a meet like this, we have a 6-man surveillance and tactical backup. Tonight, it's just the 2 of us, but...
Yeah, so if you feel hinky about anything...
Hinky?
If it doesn't feel right, sir, call it, abort it, and we'll be right there.
Hang on, I got someone.
The long coat?
Long coat. Got him. What do you think, sir? How does it feel?
Feels okay.
I don't like it.
Make the approach.
Beautiful night.
Are you looking for me?
If you want me to be looking for you, then I'm looking for you. He's a hooker. Tell him to step off.
Step off.
You don't like me?
Read him the code.
Criminal code, kid. Section 213, sub 1. Every person who's in in a public place for the purpose of engaging in prostitution or of engaging in the services of...
bitch. A man can't visit his nation's capital? Jesus.
All right. You got anything?
No. I got nothing.
Look, sir, it's 12:20. Our guy's a no-show. Let's pack it in.
You hear that?
Yeah, I do. It's a cell phone. Where's it coming from?
What do I do?
Don't touch it. Could be a detonator.
Pick it up.
Lavigne.
Across the lock.
Deaver, you got him?
Yeah, there we go. Far bank.
You know who I am?
You're Frommer. Cantron Steel, Paul Frommer.
That's right, Chairman and CEO.
Nice to meet you.
Not under the best of circumstances, but c'est la vie. I can give you 2 things. What can you give me?
My undivided attention.
I'm going to need a little more than that. I'm being set up here. There's no way in hell I'm going to play Jack Ruby for these bastards.
I'm listening.
Well, you know, so am I.
Talk to me, Deaver. Is he alone?
I got nothing in perimeter.
It all started in '99 at the Djurgården Hotel in Stockholm.
Was McLaughlin there?
What do you think? Of course he was there. He was the guy who put a nice face to the whole agenda, to make the whole thing palatable to a dumbed-down electorate. They asked him to speak. They asked him to stay on. Then they got on bended knee. I chose you because you want to bring him down. Well, I can give you the goods. It might not be indictable, but it will destroy him, and I've got it all on tape.
Hey! I got skater boys. Behind you, sir.
He's got a gun!
God damn, I said alone.
Get out of there now! Lavigne!
Come on, Maggie. A few days in the country, and your sister can visit.
I'm not stupid. I'm scared. Marc, are we in danger?
I'll call you when it's safe. Here.
Deaver, what the hell are you doing?
What's it look like I'm doing?
Looks like you're on my computer without any clearance.
Buddy, this used to be the coffee area. Then you guys showed up and now the area's doing double duty. I don't care about your computer. I'm just here for the coffee. You want some? All right. See you later.
The rapid decline in the dollar prompted the government to suspend trading on all
Overseas, the EU released a statement expressing grave concern for the state of the Canadian economy and urged the International Monetary Fund.
In New York State, Governor Lombard responded to the question saying,
Your government will not allow this crisis up there in Canada to affect the reliable delivery of power.
You need advice.
I've got one. It's called power.
Well, it's not a vice. That's a disease.
Where are we at?
You look tired, sir.
I'm fine. Where are we at?
They're on to Frommer. They're on to Stockholm.
We're concerned.
Sir, we need to know if the ship is leaking.
If you want to jump, jump now. Good. Are we ready to turn out the lights?
Underway, sir.
That's what they always say. Calm. Remain calm. Be calm. Calm, goddammit. They're planning on flooding us out. We have to have a voice.
You want a voice? I'll give you a loud voice.
Turn out the lights.
Today's your big day.
Play it.
Deaver went way out on a limb for this.
You want to talk?
That would be nice.
All right. Let's talk. And what are borders but arbitrary lines in the sand? Tribal notions that demark the limits of ancient imaginations. In today's world, money streams across these borders at the click of a mouse.
Neither good nor ill pause to fill out the requisite custom forms. And we give as good as we get.
We have exported all of our vices and none of our virtues.
This is shit. This is theology.
This is anything but. I am a realist.
Extremist?
This country has endured 137 years of rear-view mirror leadership, the worst offender being your husband. Organized crime, drugs, pollution, sexually transmitted diseases. This is the inheritance we have bequeathed our children. If we are to survive, we must rid ourselves of false dichotomies. North, south, us, them, left, right. Because whether we like it or not, we are now all truly bound together. If we have any hope at all, we must be reborn without borders, because there is no Canada. The very car you drive, Mom,
It's a good car.
was designed in England, engineered in Germany, with electronics from Korea, and built in Ontario by immigrants from around the world. Now, you tell me, what country made that car? There is no United States. There is no China. We maintain these fictions at our peril. And it is time to shed our hypocrisy. Our common future depends on a powerful commitment to a real global community. And we must take our strength from the visionary forerunners, from Metternich, from Bismarck, from Woodrow Wilson.
Oh my God. My son, where did you go?
Oh, please.
Yes, please, please, please them. Not me, them. Please this nation.
This nation? This nation was born out of a military alliance, a convenience. It's illegitimate. And if it has any hope, it must be reborn without borders. And I say, if we do not dismantle governments, if we do not tear down the barricades and battlements behind which our political leaders have shielded themselves, then we will most surely and most irrevocably be lost.
We're not some equation you arrive at, not just some place on a map.
The nation state is dead. It drowned. And somebody has to break the news, and that is me. I carry that burden all alone. I have given everything. I have given everything. Everything I have, I've given it all away. My heart. My goddamn soul!
You were a boy with your father on the Nahanni, and you saw him cry. You saw your father cry. We are not finished. We are not nearly finished. Not remotely finished. Oh, no. We are not finished.
And I leave you with this. It is the frightened man that tries to turn back the tide. It is the fearless man that learns how to swim.
God help us all. This was never just about water. Water was only the wedge. This was about continental merger and the end of our country. And it's all happening while we sit here in the goddamn dark.
Residents of Beecher Falls reported a massive explosion at roughly 10 o'clock Eastern Time. And in New York, Governor Lombard...
Authorities are confirming there was an explosion at a transformer station, but they have no information.
We are broadcasting on our emergency generating system, so we apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of Canada.
My fellow Canadians, rest assured that all relevant parties are cooperating, and we anticipate the normal flow of power to be restored in short order. Let me be utterly clear. This was not an accident. A body recovered at the site of the explosion has been identified as that of a man who claimed responsibility for the assassination of my father. This man's name is Shakir Mahoud.
Shakir the what?
Les autorités croient que cet assassin, ce terroriste, travaillait de concert avec un groupe radical d'activistes des Premières Nations. We cannot allow this to go unchallenged. And that is why 30 minutes ago I placed a call to President Monroe of the United States requesting his assistance under the terms of the Missile Defense Treaty.
He's calling in the Marines.
Tonight, elements of the 10th Mountain Division will take up positions alongside our own valiant troops in defense of our shared and vital installations. This is a temporary measure. It is not one that requires the approval of Parliament, but we are a democracy. And no terrorist threat, no matter how grave, no matter how severe, will be allowed to subvert that. Therefore, I will reconvene Parliament on Wednesday, and I will seek a mandate from your elected representatives that will enable your government to guarantee your safety and your security. I thank you. Merci. Bonsoir.
Why would he put it to a vote?
Hubris. Who knows? But we've got 48 hours to bring a government down.
Jesus.
He doesn't have a vote. I need to convince the ones that do. He's got a tight majority, 5 seats. That makes him vulnerable. The opposition is weak, but they know the smell of blood. I can get them to line up.
Well, say they do. He's still got the majority.
Which means I've got to swing 6 backbenchers. I'll start with the ones that owe me.
What if he calls an election, wraps himself in the flag?
Very possible. So it's not enough just to bring him down. We've got to lock him in a box and throw away the key. And that means you.
Me?
Find and deliver Frommer. He's got the smoking gun. He's got McLaughlin on tape. And you've got 48 hours.
48 hours. It's tight, guys.
Right. Lavigne is working the phones. First call was to Émile Boudriard. Good start. He's no fan. Let there be light.
Sir, the U.S. delegation's en route.
All right. This is it. Endgame. We got one chance to lock the Americans in, and that chance is now. So we go for broke. Agreed?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I know, but the thing is, Mr. Frommer's like my boss. Right, and I haven't told him that I lost the credit card. 4510. It was used to buy a sat phone? Is that like for a long distance? Could you like cancel that card? Okay, yeah. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Are you even keeping track of the number of laws you're breaking?
Frommer used his company credit card to buy a 9505 sat phone last night at LaGuardia.
Ooh, nicely done.
Enough is enough here. Conrad,
I'm sorry, but this dance is getting stale.
The proposition is very simple. We seek an autonomous relationship parallel to the one that Scotland enjoys with the United Kingdom. The Canadian Parliament will retain control over those issues that matter to the citizenry: health, justice, education, culture. To the United States, we will cede fiscal policy, foreign affairs, and the military.
With respect, Mr. Prime Minister, what do we get in return?
You get what you've always wanted. You get water. But this is a one-time offer, and the clock is ticking. Take it or leave it.
You never met my wife, did you?
No, sir.
She's from Sarajevo. The proudest day of her life was the day she took her oath of citizenship. Now you bring me this. What do I tell her?
That you helped.
His thesis in play.
Not officially.
And you used the unofficial echelon to trace from her to Paris.
All I need you to do is make the call, sir. Authorize me.
If you're wrong, we never had this conversation.
I can live with that.
I'd rather you just lived.
No one is untouchable, Saul. Not even McLaughlin. For once in your life, Jesus, vote your conscience.
Don't vote against this. Won't even have an office to run for because there won't even be a goddamn parliament.
To me, Alberta is just Texas without the death penalty. So, now that we've insulted each other, let's get back to the question. If Cam Ritchie crossed the floor, would you support him?
Collins.
Where are you?
Paris.
Paris? Don't even have jurisdiction in Canada.
Sir, it turns out that Ruderman's one of the good guys. He put the Sûreté on board.
So do you think I'm still in cabinet?
That's right, Solicitor General. I'm gonna put him on the phone right now, sir.
This is Chief Inspector Simon.
I'm asking you to leave this country.
No, you're not. You're asking me to lead a coup d'etat.
25 years ago, if someone had said to me, Marc, you'll end your career trying to save Canada, probably would have laughed. Such are the times we live in. They've skipped out of the groove.
You can't save a democracy by destroying it. And much as I may want to, I will not bring down a government on your say-so alone. Give me something concrete.
Where are they?
Close enough. We could call it.
All right. Push the vote.
This is Don Pritchard, a.k.a. Daniel Holt, a man who you allege to have never met. This is also Pritchard, a.k.a. Daniel Holt, laundering your money through a bank in Grand Cayman. This deposit was wired from Grand Cayman to Canada via First Integrated Trust in Florida. Now, that 2-second layover in a Miami bank, that poses a significant problem for you, sir. Prime Minister was assassinated, and Florida is a death penalty state. Let me assure you, your extradition is not something the government of Canada would challenge.
Okay.
Oui, Lavigne.
I've got it.
Where are you?
Charles de Gaulle. I'm bringing him home, and I've got the tape, sir. It'll blow your mind. You want to hear it?
Hang on.
No, I can't. We're running late as it is.
Don't get on that plane.
It's cutting it awfully close, sir.
No, stay right where you are. Stay on the line.
I'm short one damn vote. I've got to get Richie now. Richie, I've got it. Wait! Wait! You still there?
I'm here.
Okay, late now.
It's taken years of planning, but Burnham Woods has both the money and the determination to do this.
That's Randall's spear.
All we need is a leader. You consider running.
Where did you get this?
We'd like you to take your ideas out of theory and put them into practice.
Specifically, what do you think about running Canada?
Last time I checked, Canada had a leader.
Time marches on. If the right situation were to present itself, would you be willing?
I wouldn't reject it.
So we understand each other.
We do.
I think we do.
Then I guess we do.
Got it?
Oh my God.
Nice work, Sergeant. Have a safe trip.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Marc, let's go vote.
The honourable member from Miramichi. Aye. The honourable member from Fulton Peel. Aye. The honourable member from Longview Black Diamond. Aye. The honourable member from Regina West.
Mr. Speaker, not only is this bill an abomination, but I can no longer sit with this government.
Moi de même, Monsieur le Président. Je me joins à mon honorable confrère.
Results of the vote, Bill C, 44. Yeas, pour, 145. Sans 45. Nays, contre, 155. Bill has been defeated.
Mr. Speaker, I rise on a point of order. The people's representatives have spoken and clearly expressed their lack of confidence. I shall inform the Governor General and recommend his government be dissolved. May God help us all.
And the North American markets continued their roller coaster ride. For the fourth time, trading was suspended in both the TSX and the Montreal Stock Exchange in the hopes that the sell-off...
Here, people, are we just gonna sit there and take it? I mean, and you know, pardon my French, but where the hell is our spot?
Look over into Wall Street, with both blue chip and resource stocks leading the massive decline. Oil prices...
Governor of the Bank of Canada stepped in today and closed the foreign exchange in an attempt to stop the financial...
I love you. I love you. Might be late.
So nobody feels their voice can be heard, huh? Well, you know what I say? I say yell loud!
Violence erupted for the second straight day, but a spokesman for the Department of Public Defense insisted that these are localized incidents, and it...
Wait, Lavigne.
Yeah, it's me. Got what you need. It's on its way to you right now.
A newly appointed Minister of Finance paid a visit to a consortium of New York banks today, seeking a restructuring of several issues of GOC bonds.
In spite of polls showing a deeply divided country, the provincial premiers emerged from a conference with a plea for national
And the Secretary
unity.
General of the United Nations has convened a special session of the Security Council to discuss what has become known as the Canadian crisis.
It's a sad day.
For all of us, Prime Minister.
I have to thank you nonetheless.
For what?
For bringing down my government. My problem was always really the calendar. There's not enough days in the week. My father's mandate only had 6 months to run. Not enough time for me to do everything that needed doing. So I needed the government to fall, which to your great credit, you achieved. And now I can go to the polls with the opposition looking capricious and irresponsible.
I don't think you'll be going to the polls. I think you'll be going to the penitentiary.
And the charges would be treason, conspiracy, murder?
They would.
And you think they'll stick?
I have the evidence.
In hand?
I swear here.
You haven't been watching the news, have you?
The explosions rocked nearby buildings, but the only casualties reported so far were the occupants of the car, which was registered to one Leah Collins.
There's a lot of shitty things I've had to do, Marc. A lot of bitter pills I've had to swallow. For what it's worth, I know I won't be getting into heaven. But it's just possible this nation will. Of course, you could go public with this conversation. But who would listen?
And today, coast to coast, Canadians go to the polls. The last 2 months have seen a brutal, some would say vicious campaign, one that has deeply divided the nation and tested the solidarity of the ruling party. The opposition, led by Cam Ritchie, has mounted a sustained assault on the government's character and credibility. And as the nation votes, all indications suggest this will be the most hotly contested election in modern memory.
Sir, the U.S. ambassador has just entered the building. He has an entourage with him.
Was this scheduled?
Not by me, sir.
Then, methinks, how sweetly flows that liquefaction of her clothes. Next, when I cast mine eyes and see that brave vibration each way free, oh, how that glittering taketh me. And they took you. Yes, they did. They took you and they drowned you.
What is this?
It's an executive order, Tom. Invoking the National Securities Act, USC 50. It was drafted following a meeting of the National Security Council and the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the President.
I don't understand this.
Well, the President's been advised, and he agrees that the situation here is much too volatile, and it represents a direct threat to the security of the United States.
The situation here is firmly in hand.
Oh, Tom, please. You don't have a little domestic upheaval going on here. And believe me, we don't want to come up here and take things over, but you went too far. You set fire to your house, and the flames are endangering ours.
If you want to renegotiate the terms of our deal, I'm open to that, but Conrad, you have to let me win this election first.
Well, that's just the thing, Tom. There isn't going to be an election. You will, of course, stay on as Prime Minister, but the Parliament will remain suspended, and a provisional governing body will be put in place. All military affairs will be overseen by General Tompkins here, and I believe you know Willard Sheppel. He's just been made special U.S. envoy, and he will be overseeing and coordinating the restoration of civic order